First topic, if you've got a question about the past 2 seasons, which covers absolutely everything from way back to building a new squad, promotion, and of course, first season back in League One. Who would like to start us off with a question? Yes.
Hello, thanks for having us. What changed in January? I watched Sky game after when you said, we want to do this, this, and this. Then to us, looking outside, it was like something happened that we weren't prepared to invest. Was that not personal to do with what was going on with Darren, or was it a financial thing? Was there a sea change? Could you tell us why?
What we looked to do in January was to find out what had gone on over the 2 seasons. We've been here on the 4 seasons that Carol and Kevin's owned the football club. We had invested a lot of money right from the start, from 4 years. The big investment, really big investment in the summer. We then looked at the figures and looked at where it was going, and we made a change and looked at getting our finances in a better order, more structural order, so the football club can progress, survive, and become a sustainable football club over a certain amount of time. So it was something that the club was working on, but really there was a lot of investment, whether that's been the training zone, whether that's been in the squad, wherever money's been involved. There's been a lot of investment into the football
club. Any other questions?
Do you regret it? Because January, we can clearly see by January that there were points that needed to be strengthened on the field. Money was spent elsewhere. Why wasn't the money concentrated on there, which ultimately ended our season fighting to stay off? That's not the progression that we thought we were going to get at the beginning of the season.
No.
We ended up waiting for a team to get a result for us, basically.
Yeah, we took a long-term view. We took a long-term view that this football club will be something that's going to be healthy for the next 10 years under the stewardship of Kevin and Carol. We took that view that it's a long-term project. It's something that's been in League 2 a long time. We've got in League 1 now. It's really important that we go steady in League 1. We make sure that we don't overspend. We're not as aggressive as we have been for the last 4 years, and it's a lot more sensible. If we did go the other way, like you say now, and just keep spending and spending, then there's no football club. Then there's an issue the other way. So I think that we're learning. Do we regret trying to get the club in a stable footing and make it healthy? No, we don't. And we're probably not going to apologise for that, to make sure that we've got a football club in 10 years that's healthy, that's thriving, and that's trying to get towards the championship, because that's the belief, and that's what we think we can get to.
And just to add from the conversations that I've been in from a board point of view, I think, and this is to manage everyone's expectations, I think as well. We are ambitious. We're ambitious as a club. We do believe, and I definitely believe, this club can be a championship club. But as Dave says, it's got to be done in a sensible, structured way that doesn't put the club at risk. And I know that's a definite big part for the family, and for Carol and Kevin in particular, is this club needs to be successful and wants to be successful on the pitch, but also off the pitch. So it runs as the best round football club in the country. That's our aim. That's what we want to be. And you're right. 9th or whatever we were Christmas, coincidentally, when I come in, everything went wrong. But that's another day. But actually, us trying to chase the playoffs, chase promotion that probably wasn't going to happen anyway, and this might not be something that you all want to hear, but probably wasn't going to happen anyway. And us to become a strong League 1 club with a good team, with a good product, with but also with a good, strong club and good, strong board behind it, are the conversations that we're all a part of. So yes, Dave makes those football decisions, but as a club, and I have felt this strongly, that the club make good, strong decisions that ultimately at times might, and this is where we need to communicate like this more, so you understand that. So I know we made a big thing in board meetings about championship ready, and that is still a definite thing. Championship ready is what we want to be. But Championship ready, when Carol said it first, I think, and I was at the club and outside looking in, then it was like, Jesus, Vale are going for it here. They want the Championship and they want it today. The reality is, if that happens, it might happen, because it can happen in football, dreams happen. But the reality is, we want to do it Championship ready off the pitch, Championship ready on the pitch, and do it in a way that keeps this club successful. So if that wasn't communicated, I don't think that very well from us, and we've owned that. But equally, I think now is the time for us to probably tell you that a little straighter, I guess.
I think most Vale fans, like you say, we were 10th in the table in January, right? We're not talking major investment to get us into the Championship. We're talking a side that's 10th in the table, suddenly goes on a run where they win 2 games in 18. And we went virtually every away game, and Accrington Stanley was not the team that we could watch to Christmas. Can you explain why?
In terms of the performances, I think the Burton performance at home, Cambridge and Accrington, that run was as poor as I've seen in football, as poor as I've seen over a short period. Did you watch Bolton game? Bolton, Fleetwood, real performances, results, weren't what we wanted, but real performances. Then 3-run results, we then started to look behind the scenes what was happening. And whether it's you guys believe it's financial backing or whatever, what we then investigated and looked at was to see what was going behind the scenes. And there was a fractured dressing room. There was a dressing room that wasn't cohesive. There was a dressing room that had grey areas. The football showed that. The football showed that it wasn't black and white. Some players were on a different pace to other players. And we then looked at the performance of our manager. And it wasn't at the level that we wanted or we believed was acceptable. And we spoke to Darryl, spoke to him at length. So as a football, just to let you know what my position was with Darryl. I love this guy like a brother. He's someone that I've got the utmost respect for. I brought him to the football club. Anyone who thinks that I didn't love him, you're deluded. I absolutely thought the world of the guy. My job is to look at how a person performs at the football club, and he wasn't performing to the levels that was required by the football club. So we made a football club decision. One thing as a director of football I've never done is interfere in football, playing, what it looks like. That's why me and Darryl got on so well. I'll do it again with Andy Crosby. I have been at football clubs where a director of football has interfered, got involved, told the manager what teams to play, what players to pick. That's not my style. That's not me who wants to try and get involved in that. All I've tried to do at the football club is support the manager and support Carol through her efforts. That's my role at the football club, to make sure that the manager's giving the best of himself. And we didn't see that from February onwards. When we took that decision, like Carol just explained. But then performances weren't at the level that we come to expect.
Do you think if we become too predictable in the way we play, and teams sort of on the second way round work out how we play? Because in my mind, when we went to Morecambe, stood right behind the goal, we'd attack, and literally the goal would open up, and the players go mark the wing with, but we'd still pass it. We cross it in, and the big tall centre back full ready guy every time headed it away. And I started watching them when I went behind the goal. It was just predictable that we're going to pass it out wide now. We're going to pass it out wide now.
Absolutely, but I think at that stage you're locked in. Then we can't recruit players. Again, we've probably not had that craft and that guile, that creativeness around that part of the pitch, around that number 10 role, and that's something that, again, looking at League One and how we progress next season, we're looking at that. We're looking at that creativity when we're coming up against teams that we believe we can really take on and really have ball control over, how we can be creative, how we can create chances. Some of it was a bit pedestrian in the Morecambe game, absolutely. But these are things that we're learning. We're learning as a football club. It's been a really harsh learning lesson in League One. We absolutely knew in League Two what we wanted to do the day I signed for the football club. We needed managers to get us out of this league, League Two. Let's go dominate League Two, which we did. Let's get promoted. League One is a different animal. It's a difficult animal. There's 12 teams in there that are just very good at what they do. Good structures, good infrastructures, good teams, good players. And we'll try to adapt to the league. Physicality, athleticism, size, calls out. You know, the last part of the season. It's something we've learned from. We're going to go back to the drawing board and redesign a football team, that can perform in League One and perform at that level. And you know, that's something that we're really excited about as a football board to go and do and go on to deliver to you guys. Because our job at the football club is to deliver a football team that you guys watch every week and that you're proud of. And you know, that's one thing that we're obsessed with. We've got things wrong, you know, the goalkeeping situation. We've not got the right football club. What we've learned is that we've not invested enough in that area. We've split the money across probably 2 positions or 2 players. We've got, I looked at the second half of the season, it was probably young and naive in the centre half areas and wasn't aggressive enough. When I look at Nathan Smith and I look at the numbers that he produces as a centre half, even though he's only 6 foot, 6'1", his physical aggressiveness is as good as what's in the league. And we have to bring players in of that ilk that can equal his physicality. Because even though it's a good technical league, it's a very physical league, and set pieces do play a big part in this league.
You mentioned the players there. Are we expecting a lot of players to leave? Because you just said that I've named 4 centre halves we've already got. So are we expecting more players to leave to create room for these players? We've got 4 centre midfielders, I think we need 3 already. So are we expecting more to leave?
We're at a stage in the season where we've had conversations with clubs, we've had clubs approach us for our players. Again, you're always looking to improve your squad. So if the right player comes up, then we'll look at that. We're looking at a squad build of 22 players as opposed to 28, 29 players over the last, certainly, you know, going into the window last season, you know, we built a squad of 29 players. We probably ended up with not enough quality and more quantity. So yeah, we're open to that. If the right deal comes for any of our players, then you know, negotiations there to be had, and we'll look towards that.
I was just thinking with you saying about defenders, the Connor Hall situation. I think, I don't know if I can say most of our support the same, but as soon as he left, and we know why he left, that's fine. But we didn't replace it in a sense of like ability, height. Everything that he brought to the team was just amazing, and it was obvious from day one. There was just a hole. Are we going to be looking to strengthen that? Like, not replace him, but give us a good like back 3, 4, 5, whatever we're going to play. Are we going to look to bring in that height and that ability?
Yeah, I think on the Connor one, he's a player that we've missed as a person. I think the world of Connor, I think he's a fantastic person, incredible football player. Wasted in League Two, absolutely wasted in League Two. But he chose to, you know, go down there. We probably made it too easy for him, and that is a regret. You know, Connor leaving us. There was reasons as well behind it that we, you know, we probably can't cover off, but there was reasons behind it. Connor's ended up leaving us, and he left an all. We thought we had the cover in Dan Jones, if we're being honest, you know, for the left side centre half. And then Dan got injured a month after. Not the same size, but again, if you look at Dan Jones's win percentage in the team early part of the season, it was a massive player for us. So we thought we had the cover. And like I said, the last probably 10 games, we was young, we was naive, and we was probably too small. Absolutely. I think every single area we're looking for that physicality, looking for that athleticism, looking for that technical ability. You know, and that's something we're working out behind the scenes to get right. And not get right for us, get right for you guys, because we want to represent. We've got a big pitch, and we want a physical team, we want an athletic team, but we also want a technically good team, and that's what we're looking to try and build.
First of all, thank you for the participants for this. It's really good to be quite open and honest. I'm interested in. Oh, no, it's still there. I'm interested in. Yeah, sorry. I'm interested in what's the longer term plan on how we actually bridge the gap, because at the moment, I mean, we're seeing the ridiculous inflated wages that were being paid for championship players to perform in League One. Certainly last season with the likes of Charlton and Sheffield Wednesday. I was just interested what the longer term plan was to try and bridge that gap, not in terms of the salaries, because we'd be mad to be paying the kind of money Barry Bannon was on, but just in terms of the quality of the players, how are we going to get to that point?
Great question. It's something that we've looked long and hard at as we made that next progression. Staying in the league was absolutely vital from a financial point of view, and to develop the football club and to develop all aspects of the football club. So staying in the league was absolutely vital. Now we've done that, we're reviewing what League One looks like and what League One looks like for next season. There is some big hitters in there. Granted, Ipswich going, Plymouth coming out of the league. There's still some big hitters in there, but I think the team's coming down are slightly weaker. We don't know what Wigan's going to do, we don't know what Blackpool's going to do in terms of investment. Teams coming up, again we've avoided, Stockport, coming up, which will be a big hitter in this league in terms of the finances. So what we've learned from last season is that we need more quality in all areas of the pitch. We went for a quantity. We didn't know the league. We weren't. It's our first time in the league, so myself and Darryl, wanted to make sure we're covering every position, but that left us light and a little bit short and a little bit light in quality. Didn't score enough goals. One big improvement we need to make at the football club or the football team is we conceded 71 goals. It's probably 15, 16 goals too many to have a real assault on building a solid foundation in League One. So we've got to look at that and invest that money wisely. But again, we're probably now the only football club in League One that's not got a training ground and a proper training ground that you can really perform from. We'll speak to obviously Will later on as we get through the presentation. And show how important that is, to have that link and make sure that we are producing our own players. Player sales is going to be important to develop the football club. One of the reasons, we've chosen Andy as our manager going forward. He's got an incredible CV of working with some of the best players. He's worked in the Premiership, works in the Championship with outstanding players. He develops people. Develops players, and that's the club-led planning is all about driving towards that and making sure that we have a football club that is healthy. No has-been players who's looking to get the last paycheck at Port Vale, which has happened in the past. It's really important that we build a football club, a group of football players that can develop and can grow, and that's what we're trying to do as the club goes forward.
And again, just to add, obviously from a non-football aspect, this is where I think you come in. If I'm being honest, Patrick's going to go mad because we deleted a slide out, which would have been perfect for that question. But we deleted it out because we didn't want to be seen to be preempting stuff. But I've just tried to delete it. But the point we're trying to make, I guess, with this is if Dave and Dave's team is all about improving football output, whether that's through the academy, through the first team, through our facilities, but ultimately that's all about improving the product on the pitch for you, for the supporters, because let's be honest, no matter what happens in and around the club, what do we all want to see? We all want to see a team that we can relate to, a team that's winning football games, a team that we can be proud of. That's what we all want. That's why we love football. That's why I love football. So improving the football output is absolutely imperative, because what that does, naturally, that will improve attendances. And attendances at our level, it goes back to how do we start competing. I think we have to improve attendances, and this is where I think the non-football stuff does come in, because improving attendances improves our finances brutally, and we're getting more money into the football club that then in turn can help support football. How we as a board decide to invest some of that and to use some of that is then where, again, I'd be going, this is where the supporters club come into it, but absolutely our wider support engagement is going to come in, because when we're talking improving stadium, when we're talking improving fan experience, when we're talking improving attendances, non-football, I think that's what we're going to be coming to you guys and girls and everyone else to, because as much as the football can help drive attendances, I believe some of the things that we can do collectively as a club in getting behind the team and creating an atmosphere of togetherness, a real a fight almost amongst us positively, that's about making Port Vale special, making Port Vale a club that wants to improve things for everyone, improve things on the pitch, off the pitch, etc. So we're going to have a big drive on not just, and it isn't just about getting money into the first team, and that is, I'm going to be really honest about that, but if we want to be pushing forward, if we want to be competing at the top end of League One, a big part of that is us working together on improving attendances, on improving what we've got here, because that will make a difference. So yeah, and ways we're going to do that, I might as well mention it now, is collectively looking at, we're going to be doing a supporters summit or something similar, where instead of having something like this, so again, supporters club, I know I'm repeating it, but I want to make sure this is clear, supporters are going to be a part of it, but not the answer, where we're going to be asking supporters to come and help us, so not to do something, you know, Q&A, or us dictate to you, or anything like that. We're learning and growing. It's going to be workshops, it's going to be come in and help us make decisions that are going to be the best decisions for Port Vale Football Club. Help us prioritise, help us look at where we want to invest the money, whether it is into the stadium, whether it is into football, where is it, and we really do want to open that up, because if we don't do that, I think attendances will stagnate, and the football may get better, the football I think will get better, but I've got a big drive on improving everything around the club, the whole atmosphere around the club, everything that goes on a match day. I've seen comments about, you know, the stand swap, we've got some of that comms wrong, granted, but for me, you know, if you had, and again, this is about being open and honest, if you sat in the goal, you know, behind the goal that side, and you were sat with 30 empty seats around you, I want every single one of those seats full in the Hamel, and the plan is not for everyone to have loads of space around them. The plan is to get seats filled, the plan is to get people in, the plan is to make this place an exciting place to come and watch your football, and we can only do that with your backing. So I was talking the talk, we've got to make sure that you are part of that, and you're part of the journey, and part of everything where we're making some of those decisions. So, well, that slide would help, Patrick, sorry.
Yeah, can I respond to that, please, Matt? My question is actually for David, but as you stated that, let me just point out that Luton have just got into the Premier League. In the last 33 years, they've had an average game of over 10,000 once. So whilst I agree with everything you're saying about the need to improve attendances, what goes on the pitch is just as important. Dave, can I ask you, over the last season, do you think we made effective use of the loan market? Because a lot of the loan players we brought in hardly ever played. We brought in a fullback from Southampton who we played at centre forward. We brought in a fullback from Stoke who never played. We brought in Odebeku who disappeared halfway through the season. So do you think our use of the loan market was effective last season? And how do you intend to improve it?
No, I don't think No, I don't think it's been effective. I look at Dennis Politic. You know, he's someone that should have played football games for his football club. I worked with him at Bolton, played him 20 odd times, and he absolutely ripped the season up. He was outstanding playing at League One. Dennis Politic should have more football and played more football. So from each one we go through, Dennis didn't play enough football in his football club, but he had the ability to, he was good enough to. Again, I don't pick a team, but we do, pick the players. I look at Liam McCarron, someone who sort of over 2 or 3 years when I watched him from a football profile, he met the right criteria on the pitch. What we didn't do is enough reference work on him, and he wasn't the right person for the dressing room, he wasn't the right character for the dressing room. You can look at the tactical, you can look at the technical, you can look at the physical. You can only really test sometimes the social and the mental when you get inside the building. It's almost the last test. So we put a red flag in, and now we do more on references, more on the checking there, so we didn't get that one right. We rushed on the small one. We thought that he would give us pace down the left-hand side and give us that energy going forward. He was brought in as an impact player, an impact sub for us, and again, didn't get the game time, but probably didn't have the technical attributes that was looking for in terms of gameplay in the last third. Meepo, again, start of the season, we wanted someone with pace, we wanted someone who could run beyond, and did it okay for the first part of the season for me. Second half of the season, again, character in question, and you've asked me honestly, wasn't the right character for this football club, what we're trying to build. As he was out of the team, we sort of found that trait become more evident, that he wasn't right for the squad, he wasn't right for the players. When he was out of the team, you test it sometimes when you're out of the team, and how you react and how you fall into into that environment. And Meepo didn't react too well of not playing week in, week out. Butterworth, I think at times there was success with what Butterworth did. Did he get enough run of games? Did we trust him enough? I'm not sure. Did we play him for 8 games on the spin and allow him to play a couple of bad games? Probably not. And I think sometimes when people with the Dennis Politic, the Butterworth, they creative people, they creative players. You have got to play them through a couple of bad games, and we probably didn't do that. So I think we've identified probably 60% of them who we think, but probably got 40% wrong. We've got some really good contacts, and the best ones, we spoke to the Dobbins of this world, spoke to the Scholars who are at Portsmouth, Connor Bradley's who go to Bolton. We're not a football club yet, we just them clubs are in front of us in terms of what they've got to offer. So your Premiership loans have been sort of difficult to get. We then looked down at the Championship and try and get, we've just not got the best in class loans. We are working on it. It's something that